I want you to begin to understand that when you come into the things of God, there has to be a level of sensitivity now that is displayed into an atmosphere. I want you to begin to understand that Solomon now was well within the rights now of his intellectual finding when he helps the church to begin to understand that the power now of life and death, it begins to lie in the mouth. I believe that we must also understand that we have the ability now to call for those things that be not as if, as though they was. I want you to be helped to understand that there is power when you find yourself connected to the word, synchronized and syncopated to the orchestrated symphonic movement of the unadulterated, indisputable, uncontestable, undeniable, and undefilable word of God being downloaded into your DNA. Because whenever there's such an encounter and such an impartation with the word into your life, what it begins to do now, it begins to shift your existence. It begins to cause you to come to a point in a place in your life where you begin to realize and actualize that you have power, that you have authority, that you have influence. Anytime you come into a new experience with God, you must understand that the atmosphere, it becomes sensitive. It is nothing that you want to begin to trouble. It is nothing that you want to begin to intervene. It is nothing that you want to begin to interrupt. There's many of us, and as I was in prayer, God helped me to understand. He said now that there are many of us, we've been praying from some things, and God helped me to understand, help God in this place, that when those things now begin to manifest, we have a lack of appreciation, because some of us, we've been praying for some stuff, and what God did was release it. What God did was loose it and let it go into your life. But when it manifests, there was a lack of appreciation. And for a matter of fact, some of us, we didn't have the ability to begin to track and strategically trace God and say, God, this is you. See, I'm trying to go somewhere. If you look at the text, David now was praying concerning the presence, the power, and the influence of God coming back into the temple. In other words, the temple now was in trouble. The people was in trouble. And David quickened himself and he began to realize, if I can get God back to the house, if I can get his presence, if I can get his power, if I can get his authority, if I can get his hands upon my life, we're going to begin to win some battles. Is there anybody can begin to relate to David? You know that God didn't leave you because of your sin, because of your mistakes, because of your frailties, because of your vulnerabilities, because of your inabilities and your inconsistencies. Is there anybody under the sound of heaven willing to say, I can relate to David because of some weakness in my life, because of some inconsistencies? I've not been praising like I should. I've not been worshiping like I should. I've not been standing in the prophetic gap, lifting up holy hands. I've not been giving him glory, giving him honor. I've not been giving him the fruit of who I am. In other words, I was in dire straits. I was lacking. I was wanting. And what God did is he decided to give you a visitation. What God did is he decided to give you a quick manifestation. But many times we got a lack of appreciation when God begins to move.